Hello everyone, and welcome to another Superlights round. This time we are at the Hungaroring in Hungary. Round 10 of the championship, and it is certainly an interesting championship from a standings point of view, with Aaron Vázquez once again missing a round, enabling his rivals to catch up in the drivers' standings. I'm joined once again by Carlos Martin. Carlos, it's hotting up this championship, isn't it?
Yeah, tonight we could see a change in the lead since the start of the season. Aaron has been dominating across the whole season, winning all races besides two when he participated. But the absence that he's right now having is affecting him a lot, and he clearly will have to restart his grind and try to retake this position from probably Mateusz Majka, which is the only driver who can take it from him tonight.
Sorry. Yes, Mateusz is indeed his closest rival in the championship, right up there. 11 points only separating the top two drivers. And Sandeep Singh's had some decent results, but obviously won last time out, but then had a couple of DNFs before, or missing the round, rather. And that can sort of stall your championship challenge, can't it? It's all about consistency over the 16-round season.
Yeah, you need to be very consistent, especially when the top three is very clearly defined, or maybe the top two is very clearly defined. Every time you miss once, it's very painful. It's a very high price to pay. Therefore, you need to keep up there, and we will see a very interesting end of the season after today. Although we cannot forget today, it is a track that is really difficult to overtake. One of the qualifying sessions that are the most important during the season. There are very few qualifyings that are as important as today's. Although we have seen a lot of drivers struggling with the tire on this track, and we will see plenty of different strategies. It will be very hard to see anybody doing the same strategy tonight.
Yeah, I think we should talk quickly about the strategy options before qualifying gets underway here. You can do, essentially you've got quite high tyre wear here, Carlos, and that's going to play a massive factor in what drivers do. With a sort of 22-ish second pit lane delta, from what I understand, it means that you have that, it's sort of on the shorter end. It's not the shortest we've seen so far this season, obviously nowhere near as long as Imola, for example, with 27, 28 seconds. Could we see people 2, 3? Could we see those sorts of amounts of stops, 2 or 3 stops?
Yeah, I think one stop it's off the table. There is nobody who will try the one stop question mark, double question mark, triple question mark maybe. But yeah, I think 2 and 3 stops are probably the way. I don't think 4 stops can bring you anywhere, prioritizing the soft tire every time. So it would be either a 2 or a 3, but even in a 2 and a 3 stops, we will see very different tire choices. So we will not really know the driver's choice of strategy until we see a bit more of laps or their second stints.
Absolutely. We are now green in the session, so everyone coming out onto the track. And we saw Patrick Magnusson and Mateusz Majka were the fastest 2 drivers in practice, which is bodes well for Mateusz. Magnusson as well, showing good form. Here's James Andrews as well, deputising for Aaron Vázquez in that PZZW car, and Andrews on his outlap. But yeah, there's some pace there from the KV86 in Magnusson's hands.
Yes, there is. I think pole today, probably the target will be 18.3, maybe 0.4. I think this is what the drivers were looking to start in the first spot will be looking for. Anything beyond that, it will be possible, but surprising at the same time. It's 30 degrees today, so that is also very important for the cooling. And this is a season we have spoken a lot about the cooling, And yeah, closing the car will give you an extra performance for the qualifying, but it could be very tricky when it comes to the race. We've seen many teams struggling in the race to keep up the temperatures below certain ranges. So yeah, this will be also something to check.
I think 18.4 might be pole. I think I agree with you. I think it would be a good lap to do an 18.4 as well. It's one of those tracks where hooking up a lap can be quite hard, actually. It's not that easy a track to drive. You can easily miss the apex at turn 1. You can easily run a bit wide at turn 2, lose a couple of tenths there as well. And there's sort of only... This is a horrible corner, by the way. Off camber, downhill. It takes forever for the front to bite, and then finally it does. And you've got to get it far enough left to make this corner flat as well. And then you come up the hill, and it's a blind apex, isn't it, Carlos?
Yeah, it's a blind apex here. Some setups are able to attack the curb on the inside, some others don't. So here it will be a lot of different setup philosophies. And then we have the chicane here, where you actually don't really want to touch too much the curbs. You want to carry on a lot of speed, and then this left and right-handed, keeping way more on the left to have a great exit of the right-handed. And then here again the same thing, you want to keep on the left to have a great exit speed in this right-handed, heading into sector 3, hard braking into this third gear corner, a good acceleration, and this corner that is very tricky because normally the front bites a lot, and therefore you can have a massive spin in the rear. And in the last corner, the front left is very hot and tends to not grip at all, as we see James Andrews closing a lap with 2 seconds off the pace, which is a 20.6, if I'm not mistaken. For the moment, Sandeep Singh leading the charts with a 18.6.
Yeah, that 18.6, I think, will be beaten. Maxime Beaulieu entering the pit lane. He's back in the Fusion car now. Looking like he made a mistake on that lap, considering he had no front wing. Here's Francesco Tontaro, who is another Italian who I get to pronounce. Across the line, P16 for Team Shiba. They're struggling a bit upgrade-wise, aren't they, this season? And a few teams now have, I think most teams actually at the front, have maximised their upgrade potential. So this is the car they'll have for the rest of the season now, right?
Well, they are waiting for the tokens to be awarded between round, I don't want to mistake, round 11 and round 12, which is between Hockenheim and Monza. There will be 2 tokens awarded, at least this what it was mentioned by the administration, and therefore another upgrade could be made. Well, 2 upgrades, depends on what your choice are, if you do an MK3 or you do an MK4. Therefore, yeah, we will see some changes from until the end of the season, but nothing until round 12, 13, which the upgrades gets to be produced, and before being produced, being designed.
Yeah, the Ruben Machida there in the Optiminal, he's struggled a little bit before the event to find the pace that the Hyperion drivers have had. I know that from a little bit of insider info. See what Ruben can do. We know he is a good driver, probably a Super League standard driver, I would say, when he puts his mind to it. But he struggles around this particular track for some reason. I think it's interesting, certain tracks favour certain drivers. You're a very big fan of Canada, for example, aren't you, Carlos? And I think certain drivers really click with certain tracks, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, every driver has strengths and every driver has weaknesses. I particularly enjoy driving along this track. I don't enjoy it racing. Racing is not what you really want here. I love to do 1 laps here, as we see Zolchuk's very strong lap. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. So he's heading into a really great lap. Let's see where the Hungarian driver who's racing at home tonight can clock it, as we see him closing the final corner, and he will go second. He lost a bit in the 3rd sector, 2 tenths to Sandeep Singh, who had a really strong sector 3. So yeah, there is room for improvement for everyone, as we see Ruben Machida going up to P8 with an 18.97. Seems like the drivers are struggling slightly to improve the lap times from practice, which has been not the first time that this happened this season.
Yeah, there's certainly, I know Mateusz did a 0.509 in practice, and I feel like a 0.4, I think that's pretty close to what his PB is, so an 18.4 I feel like would be pole. We haven't seen that yet, and you would expect the grip levels to increase as more cars put rubber down on the track and sort of rubber it in. But Singh with a 692, it's almost a 0.7 as Taras comes around the final corner. Only P15 for him. Apex have had a really weird season up and down, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a really weird season. As we see, look, Mitchell with a purple sector 2 going 2/10, improving on Sandeep Singh. Oh, as that was a really bad exit from the penultimate corner from Luke Mitchell. At the same time, we see Mirko Lucchini also improving, doing a great sector 2. It seems like the sector 2 from Sandeep is not the greatest, so we see him clocking for a P8, 18.95. As we see Sandeep going for a great lap, improving almost 2/10. Well, let's see what the English driver can do. He had a very, very, very strong sector 3, so if he's able to match that, for sure he will gain a very big gap compared to the rest of drivers, as he goes P1 for now, 118.53, as Mike is just 6 thousandths behind the English driver. So, wow, that's very strong. And Harry Smith also P3, just 2/10 off from pole position.
Yeah, that's more like it, isn't it, from the top two? Certainly, those two have been, recently at least, very competitive, and Smith showing a bit more pace, a bit more like what he had last season, to be up there in P3 right now. But I do expect others to improve as well. We've got half the session remaining. You should just about get 4 runs in, to be fair. So we've got 2 more runs, I think, for a lot of drivers to see what they can do to improve. But yeah, the top 2, those are more like representative times, I would say.
Yeah, they are very representative times, although both of them will try to look for improvement. We cannot forget about Patrikur, who was very, very, very strong in the practice session as well. As we see Perseus Miriam going for closing a lap in P20 for a 20.1. And yeah, let's see, Magnusson doesn't close this lap. He's quite not as happy as he wants to be. Currently without the lap. And I would say it would be important to close the lap here, because starting at the back of the grid, it will not favor him at all.
Absolutely correct. Pavel Andrzejewski as well, down there in P13. He is, I think he's fourth in the Drivers' Championship, excuse me. So he is, he will want to improve from that. He's definitely a better racer than he is a qualifier, which in SL2 is not the end of the world. In Super League, obviously, it's a bit more important to qualify higher because the standards are just that much better. But Pavel starting another lap, he will want to at least get into the 18s and probably targets a high 18 or a sort of 0.7 or something like that. I think would be good for Pavel, and that would moving up him right up to 4th or 5th position in the field. Let's see what he can do, as he's slightly out of sync with some of the other drivers. I think he's probably quit one of his runs. Jorge Martinez as well is setting 2 personal best sectors, as Pavel is another run gone by the wayside for Pavel. He's going to have to reverse that back and get that back to the pits, as Martinez does move up to P7 with his lap. And Russo goes P3 for Santon, with an 18.718. That's out of nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really strong lap. Very close in every single sector to Sandeep. And I've noticed that between, for example, the Netrix and the Hyperions, the Netrix are a bit stronger in Sector 1 and 3, whereas the Hyperion are slightly stronger in Sector 2. And that's something very interesting to see. Even though probably the downforce loads for every single car are mostly the same, it will be very interesting because the suspension parameters are probably different and favoring one kind of corners or the others. As we see Patrikur attacking very hard in Sector 2, just 1.5 tenths behind Sandeep Singh. I would say this is a very important lap to close.
100%. He's got to get a banker in, and he's only just going to get enough time for another lap. Is he even going to get time for another run, actually? I don't know if he is. Yeah, he is. So this is important to give himself a delta to really push on that final run. He's set a really good middle sector now. So Patrick is showing that pace in practice, showing it in qualifying now. And he's missed the apex slightly at the penultimate corner, run a little bit wide. I wonder if his tyres are screaming enough as he goes through the final corner. This should move him into the top 10, but how far up? That's the question as he comes over the line. P3 for Patrick.
Yeah, that was a very strong lap by him. He will have another attempt. As we see, Mateos not able to improve. It was a really strong lap as well. But this is what I mentioned about the networks. They seem to be better in sector 1 and 3, but weaker in sector 2. And 2.5 tenths is not a joke. It's a big difference.
Yeah, it is. And the thing about sector 2, it does have that chicane in, doesn't it? It has the chicane and the sort of changes of direction. So I wonder if the Hyperion, I mean, the way you can do that is with slightly stiffer ARBs or something like that. So maybe they're focusing on the slightly higher speed corners over there at Hyperion and costing themselves a little bit of traction or slow speed. You know, what's the word?
Traction.
Grip, I get. Yeah, it's mostly traction probably. So they will keep an eye on their tyre wear relative to Singh, who we know is good on tyres anyway. Let's follow this lap from Pavel Andrzejewski, as nobody else really is improving. And Pavel, he's one of the contenders, I would say, for race wins every single time, if he qualifies well.
Yeah, he's a great racer. He gets the strategy and gets out of troubles mostly, besides Silverstone, which he was caught into that. But for the rest, he's a driver that avoids troubles really well. Let's see his first sector, where let's watch very closely how it goes for the Polish driver. He does a 28.83, which it is almost 2 tenths off from Mateusz. So we are not looking better than P6 right now, unless he cracks sector 2 and sector 3. Let's see where he can go up to. Very clean, tidy in sector 2 so far. Now you go to the left, you try to push now for this very fast right-handed. And yeah, he improves in sector 2 compared to Sandeep Singh. So he's currently about 2 tenths off from the pole sitter, provisional pole sitter. And let's see what he can do here in sector 3. Oh, that was not clean by him. Oh, and the exit there was not great. So I think that's not going to be a big improvement for the Polish driver. Let's see where he clocks it. He's currently P16. He goes up to P14, which is not the greatest for the Polish driver. I guess maybe wants to be down to P16 at this point.
Joel Schucks has just done a 0.504 in the first sector, which is very, very quick. Substantially quicker than we just saw Pavel complete that first sector in almost over 3 tenths faster. So this is looking good for Schucks. Can he hook up the middle of the sector? And let's see what that is as he comes through. The split is here. Oh, it's still purple for Schucks. So can he get through that final sector? Can he usurp Sandeep Singh for pole position? It's only a couple of corners left. He's a little bit wide at the penultimate corner. Got to hook this final corner up nicely. Get it in early and through the corner. Can he take pole, Carlos?
Yeah, I think he will take pole. Let's see if the Hungarian can do it. All Schucks will go for pole! Just for 54,000 improvement over Sandeep Singh. And that will just make it enough, because I don't see anybody else improving as much to contest this P1.
Granada Oro goes to P5. Lewis Mesa is out there setting a green first sector. He comes through sector 2. This could be an improvement as well. It's so tight, that top 10. Just under 4 tenths covering the top 10 drivers right now as Mesa comes through that penultimate corner. We've got a couple of other drivers still on track, but Mesa is the one we're watching as he comes through the final corner. Patrick Magnusson sets a purple first sector. Here comes Mesa then. P5 for him. Improves up the field. What can Magnusson do then with a purple first sector? He's just about got his lap in. Purple middle sector, excuse me. So he comes through the final corner now and runs a little bit wide. He's going to have to stop that lap and does not improve. So P4 for him. That was destined for pole, surely. But didn't happen. And I think Mateusz Majka is trying another lap, but he is... Yeah, no, that's not an improvement for him. 0.627. So Shooks then, pole position.
Yeah, Solskjaer's pole position at home Grand Prix. This is going to be big for him and big for TTF Racing, which they don't have the greatest of the season so far, but today they can amend and start a new hope for them until the end of the season. Santi Sip takes P2, Mateusz Majka P3, Patrick Magnusson with a great qualifying for KV86 P4, Luis Mesa P5, Victor Granodero P6, Mirko Lucchini P7, Federico Russo P8, Harry Smith P9, and Luke Mitchell P10. Jorge Martinez P11, P12 Scott Mitchell-Mann, P13 Ruben Meshede, P14 Pavel Andrzejewski, P15 Oliver Taras, P16 Francesco Grimolizzi, P17 Osvaldo Angelone, P18 Giuseppe Canzonieri, P19 Victor Bernat, P20 Andrea Ciniaga. P21 Perseus Miriam, 22nd Maxime Bulliot, 23rd Thiago Melo, 24th James Andrews, 25th Francesco Tontaro, 26th Daniel Scott. Well, that was a heck of a qualifying, Toby.
Yeah, it was all the way down to the final few laps, and as we thought the track would get better, it was a 0.4 that took pole position in the end, as opposed to a 0.3 or lower. So yeah, it's I think anyone in that top sort of 5 can probably win, but as we know, overtaking is super hard here, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like today's race will be mostly defined in the race start and then the strategies. Today it will be important to be able to be flexible, to understand and read well what's happening. And since Toby and myself, we are the experts here of strategy and predicting, we predicted pole perfectly. We said a 0.4 would be pole, and it was a 0.4 pole. So we might today, engineers from Superlights, if we're going to know the right strategy to do at every single time, just tune in here. Just tune in to the broadcast of Superlights.
I think 3 stops is slightly quicker on paper in Superlights, but the problem is with the 3 stop is that obviously you are traffic limited. And it's all about that first stint as well. Do you start, if you're going to 3 stop, do you start on a set of softs and try and get a bit of a gap, or do you sort of sit there on a set of mediums and let the race come to you later on? That's the big question. I think it would be unlikely that 3 stoppers use hard compound tyres, to be honest with you. Most likely it'll be a set of mediums and a set of softs that we get in the mix for that. But 2 stoppers definitely can use the hards. They're not complete rubbish. It would just need to be hard, soft would be probably the strategy. And that's the key, is that whether you can get enough pace on those hards, basically.
I mean, if you're going for a 3 stop, if you're not starting first, I would say go with soft and try to make the moves at the beginning. Because, why wouldn't you otherwise? It's the best moment to use the soft. So I'm calling it for Majka, I'm calling it for Patrikur. No, if you wanna make up positions and if you wanna go for an aggressive strategy, just go for it.
Would you favour the 3 stop? Personally, you'd go with 2 stop, yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think you know me. I'm always for these kind of very difficult tracks to overtake, to not go for the 3 stops. There is another thing that makes me think why the 3 stops is worse than the 2 stops this year, and the reason is the battery. We have seen the battery this year, and one of the problems of this track is that you are constantly using the battery, because there are so many regen zones and there are so little deploy zones that you barely can use the battery as an overtaking tool anymore. Maybe it takes up to 10 to 12 laps to full deplete the battery, I would say. So that makes it even more difficult. And as you mentioned, it will be mattering to me, where are you landing in the first stint? Is there a gap? Is there a big enough gap to run at least 10 seconds that you can go for it and adapt to a 3-stop? You can't discard it fully, right? But you need to know when the windows are open for that, and you need to be flexible to do that. That's why if you're a 2-stopper and somehow you can do the rainbow is the soft, medium, hard, I would not start with the hard, because you take yourself down the possibility of having flexibility.
Yeah.
And therefore it's over.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Right, Carlos, enough about strategy. I'm going to ask you, how does it feel to be world champions?
I thought you were asking me about GPV, but I thought I was going to say it's a bit too soon to say that, right? Yeah, really good. Spain won the World Cup. It's coming home, but just the Spanish home, you know? But yeah, it was a great performance. We enjoyed so much. The great thing is that they overcome the difficulties they had with some injuries of wingers that they had, and they were able to adapt the gameplay towards that. Because in the past Euro Cup, we had very fast wingers, and this time Lamine and Nico, they were both injured for the World Cup, and even though Lamine still played, Nico was not even ready for that, and they adapted the play, so they did great in that regard. So, and Pedri was awful at the first games, and they were able to sit him down and to replace him comfortably with Fabian. So great man.
I think 100%. And I think the interesting thing about Spain throughout the whole tournament is that they didn't have a bad performance. And I think
just Cape Verde, no?
I wouldn't even say that was a bad performance. If you look at the stats from that game, on another day that's 4-5-0. It just, you never got the breakthrough goal. It was the same with England versus Ghana. It just against a really well sort of set up side. And Cape Verde scared Argentina, don't forget. So I personally am very glad that Spain beat Argentina after the way that they played against England. And that was just a joke of a football match. Horrible to watch. Start to finish.
I'm not gonna put any negative comments on anyone. I'm not like that kind of person. But the final was the final was extremely one-sided, I would say. So I think there was it would have been quite weird, you know, to see a team who has shot zero attempts and 0 attempts on target to actually win the World Cup, right? But at the end,
it's not football, is it? Playing like that, they played like it against England, and then of course we went one. Actually, the worst thing we did was scoring a goal, to be honest, because it just meant that we then sat back and let Argentina pepper our box with crosses for the final 30 minutes, which was the worst 30 minutes of my life, I think.
I think today, let's call to every single engineer, just don't do the same mistake as England. If you find yourself in a good position today, it doesn't mean you have to close the doors, just go full defensive and don't care about anything else. P1, it's extremely important, yes. To be P1 after turn 1 and turn 2 and sector 1 is very important, yes. Is everything done? No, it's not everything done. It's not done until the last lap. And therefore you need to account for everything that is coming after that.
100%. Yeah, it's and it's actually just we found in Superlights this season, both with you by my side and with Alex, it's you get that first few laps of action and then it settles down until the pit stops, and then we have another flurry of action and then it settles down again, and then for whatever reason Superlights has been really, really, really good for that final 5-10 laps where the sort of strategies converge, and you end up with a fight right in the end of the race. It's really interesting, and I hope for a similar thing today. I know Zoltschuk likes his sets of hards, so I would be surprised if he doesn't two-stop today. It's what the guys around him do. Does Sandeep Singh go for the two-stop, couple of hards, or a hard, medium, soft? Does Mateusz Majka go for the two-stop or the three-stop? Do they end up back on track late in the race? We'll see.
Well, I will say something. The grid here in Superlights tends to spread way more than what it happens in Super League. And these, wide spots for pitting, for an extra pit stop, they occur more often in Superlights than in Super League. If you feel very confident or completely not confident the other way, right, with the two-stop, just wait for that moment to open. If I was leading after turn 1 and after sector 1, I would do the most catenaccio strategy you have ever seen. Like, slow down as much as you can. Don't let anybody to have a gap to you get undercutted. Always they will land behind 2 or 3 cars. Just control that, and whenever they pit, you just drain your tires, have like half of the tire where you would have normally. I will make it the most boring race in the world, and you would still be in control. And the question is, when you're behind and someone is doing that, how you counter that? There are chances. Let's see if people are able to see those.
I think it's taking the opportunities when they come, as you say. It's if the strategy that you're on is a 3-stop, and then suddenly, the tires are wearing a bit better than you thought, or you have an option to go to a hard to go towards the end, and track position looks good. You can switch about. It is being flexible and being able to see those gaps that really matters. Yeah.
This I'm not sure if Jolt and whoever is leading into after the sector 1 is gonna account for all this. Let's see also the starting tires. I have a feeling Mateusz will go on the aggressive side.
Mm-hmm. He's on softs right now in practice.
He's on softs right now. Patrikur is also on softs, and we know Patrikur, he likes some action, doesn't he?
I think we might see Magnussen in the pits the earliest, to be honest. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It's a little bit different. At Hungary, always you get some strategy options. A few seasons ago, in FS1, we managed to do at Nocturne. We managed to do a variety of strategies that ended up winning both races. The first race was it almost always was a 1-stop. We turned it into a 2-stopper, and Tom Stevens won the race a couple of laps from the end. And so you can do something different here. It just requires you to have pace to be able to make it work.
Do you know who won it in FS1 in 2023?
23.
It was a 1-stop.
I don't know.
It was me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, actually, this is very funny because everybody looked at what Nocturne did on 2022, and they went for that strategy. Therefore, I just did the opposite. I went for the 1-stop, and it went through. That's how important it is to read what you have in front, because there is not one unique solution to the puzzle. You need to account for everything that is happening in your environment.
Yeah, your point is there that, like today, if everyone's on a 3-stop, actually the 2-stop could be quite valuable because they'll all be fighting with each other. So sometimes it is better to do the opposite strategy to what people expect.
Yeah, it is. It is very complex. I'm excited for that. I'm a nerd. I love these kind of little things, and I will get very excited when the pit windows open, and we are waiting. Oh, will the driver enter? Yes, no, yes, no. It will be interesting. Last year, it was very interesting as well. There was a bit of division between the 2 and the 3 stops. The Jose Soriano won with a 2-stop, and then there was David Krupa who finished second with a 3-stop, and then Harry Smith finished third with a 2-stop. Then it was Ruven who was also doing a charge with a 3-stop, but then some mistakes he committed during the race and just turned him out of contention. But it was, the gap opened, and therefore drivers could go for that. They were pitting as early as lap 8 last year.
Oof. Yeah, I don't think we'll see quite lap 8, but we certainly might see something a little bit different today. I am excited. We are moving to the race session now. Quickly, prediction then, Carlos. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Luis Mesa.
Oh, wow. That is a big call. We'll see if he's right next. Superlights then, round 10 at Hungary. It's going to be a good one, Carlos. And Luis Mesa, you think, then?
Yeah, Luis has a good chance. Why not? He's in P5. I think Matej and Pratikro looks like they're going to go on alternative strat. We have seen Luis doing a really good job in the previous Grand Prix at Spa. Finished second, just 2 seconds off from Sandeep Singh, who won the race. Therefore, why not? It looks like Zolchuk will start on the medium compound, Sandeep will start on the medium, Mateusz Majka and Patryk Magnusson on the soft.
We'll see how it plays out. Let's have a little look at the grid once again to remind you of where everyone starts. Zolchuk then took a fantastic pole for TTF with Sandeep Singh alongside him on the front row. Mateusz Majka fighting for that championship in P3 with Patryk Magnusson in P4. P5 goes to Luis Mesa with Victor Granada Oro in the other TTF P6. Mirko Lucchini is 7th with Federico Russo, his teammate, in 8th. Row 5 then, and Harry Smith and Luke Mitchell alongside one another with Jorge Marquinez and Scott Mitchell-Marm on row 6. Row 7, and disappointing for the pair of them, will be Ruben Macheda and Pavel Andrzejewski with Oliver Taras and Francesco Grimolizzi for Apex behind them. 17th goes to Osvaldo Angeloni with Giuseppe Canzonieri in 18th, Victor Banat and Andrea Canaya in 19th and 20th. 21st goes to Perseus Miram with Maxime Beaulieu in 22nd place, Thiago Mello and James Andrews behind them in 23rd and 24th. P25 on the grid is Francesco Tontaro with Daniel Scott in 26th, and Yannis Volborn is here, starting from the back in 27th.
Did you notice the same as I did?
Say again, I was sneezing.
Did you notice the same as I did?
What?
There are so many Italians now in...
There are, I know. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I noticed is that you have a lot of teams here next to each other. You've got both the Apexes next to each other, both the Santons next to each other. It's one of those, like, Mitchell brothers are near one another, showing that the pace and the strength of each team is pretty similar, team by team. Right, so
equally
the
good or
grid...
equally bad, no?
The grid lines up. There's a car miles out of position there in row 5. Is that Marquinez out of position a little bit, or is Harry Smith?
No, it's Harry.
Harry Smith in P9, sorry then. So trying to get a look down at the start-finish straight. But waiting for the grid to line up fully. I think Yannis Volborn being in the pits has hindered that. But the lights are on now. It's 4 lights and 5. And away we go. There was a jump start for sure. And no! Sandeep Singh stalled. And Singh is out. Singh is out, and he was crashed into as well. So there's a couple of drivers affected. There was a jump start further back. The lights were held for a very long time as side by side then Mateusz Micah goes with Jolt, Shooks and Micah on those softs, trying to make a move immediately as we head into turn 2. Shooks has squeezed him to the inside, but Micah makes his way through and steals that P1. But disaster for Netrex and disaster for Sandeep Singh on the opening lap. There's a car in the background with a missing front wing as well. That looks, I can't quite see who that is. That Magnussen? Did Magnussen hit Singh then? Was that what happened? But through they go then. So Pavel Andrzejewski there, we're watching him in front of Grimalitzi in the apex as we head towards the chicane, and there's green stripes, and he's going to pile into some cars. Yes, he has. And there's an optimal, there's an optimal missing a front wing now, and Mello just lost it under braking and slammed into the side. That's Canzonieri there for Optimal, and Marquinez was the one who is out of the race, and Janis Volborn starting for the pits avoided everything.
Yeah, as we see Thiago Mello also completely out of the race. We have seen a lot of mayhem here, and Daniel Scott also has a penalty. I'm not entirely sure where that comes from, but there have been a pair of jump starts as well. I've seen a jump start from Marquinez as well, so at the penalty mark, and as we see smoking engines already, the green stripe is already smoking. That shows how close the cooling they're running. That engine is not going to last long if he keeps like that.
No, that was all the way down the pit straight. He did nothing to mitigate it and stayed in the slipstream, didn't he? So that is a big problem for Victor Banat. I suspect we'll see him retiring from the race. Pavel Andrzejewski he's on mediums, isn't he? So it's not copying his teammate's strategy. He's doing something a little different as he goes through, but would have hoped for a bit of a better start. But Micah, what a start from him. And he's clear of Shooks by 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, that's the advantage of the soft tire. But yeah, I think probably Mateusz is pushing a lot. Zolt is really aware of maybe of going for this two-stop strategy. Let's remember here is not easy at all to do the two-stop strategy with the medium. So let's see what the strategy unfolds. I'm getting told that the engine from Sandeep switched off in the race start, that he didn't even have a chance to actually launch. So later we'll have a chance to actually watch that as Micah clocks at 21:59.
Ooh, that is pushing hard. That is a very quick, that's a very quick lap time for this stage of the race. So Micah then obviously, I think, is on the 3-stop strategy, and I suspect being on the softs means he's going to go soft, medium. That's what I think.
Let's see how long he can last the tires, because I don't think, you still have to take care of them if you go 3-stop with the softs. I don't think it's that easy, as we see a yellow in Sector 1. Right now, what Micah needs is, as we see Maxime Bulio just DNFing right now, as we see a lot of position changes. We see Harry Smith 4th. It was a starting P9, and Luke Mitchell P6. He started P9. There has been a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem caused by Magnussen, caused by Sandeep, and caused by Marquinez, who were starting in front of all these people, all capitalizing on it. And right now, you just need to be aware of what are your next steps. For Mike, is very clear. What are the rest going to do?
We would like to see the start again if we can. I think Magnussen, starting in P4, was he the one who hit the back of Singh? And if so, how did he not avoid him? He's right in front of him. I understand if you're a car behind, but would be interesting to see that one, as we got another engine smoking in the background. That looks like a PZZW in the hands of potentially... No, it's not. It's Stacks. It's the Stacks. Yeah, it's the... Is the Stacks car. They're both white, and from a distance it was a 50-50, and I lost. Angeloni is going to struggle with that engine as well. Another lovely livery from Stacks, though. They really are very good at them. And Santon as well. That's my other pick for favourite livery in this season. I think that's a beautiful looking car. But
every time you see the Stacks livery, you say, "Oh dear."
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yes, I get it. Nice. Yes, let's have a look at the start then, if we can, from Fabian Jungbluth on cameras, bringing them up for us. So let's go, if we can, on board. Well, let's see what happened to Marquinez. Okay, fine. Let's see what happened to Magnussen. That's fine. The lights are a little bit glitched, but he just drives straight into the back of him. That's confusing. I don't understand how he didn't back off and miss him. So that's obviously Sandeep well out of the race, and Magnussen missing his front wing. He may not have been immediately aware of that. And then we also saw some drama down into turn 3 as well. So here comes Magnussen then with no front wing. He is backing off sensibly, to be fair. We saw him on the outside of this corner. Let's see if we can spot what happened to Singh as well as Magnussen goes off track. There's some bouncing going on. And then, so Singh,
the engine is off.
The engine's off?
I think he probably downshifted pretty slowly into the grid, and when you downshift too slow, the anti-stall kicks in, and if you don't clutch in,
but it was off. Can you go back? Sorry, Fabian. Let's just see. Did he shift into first with no clutch engaged?
No, he doesn't have the. He's in anti-stall right now. Just by the RPMs, I know he's in anti-stall. And
then the engine's off. Yes. So Scott Mitchell-Malm had that in the pits before as well. That's why he at Imola last year, I think. So that's what happened to him. And of course, then Magnussen hits him, which I think.
Yeah, when you don't reduce to neutral, if you reduce to neutral very slow, you wait too much. The anti-stall kicks in before you even select neutral. And to Jorge, I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe he didn't see. He jumped the star. Wow, he clearly jumped the star. And
what's he?
Yeah, and then he just lets everyone go.
He's on full throttle. He's on full throttle.
Wait, what?
The engine's. He's on full throttle. The engine's dead. He blew the engine.
Oh wow.
He must have blown the engine because he was on full throttle. That's crazy. Got a good enough start. Oh, he can't shift up, but then he shifts up to second with full throttle. I don't understand.
That was a good one to check.
I have no idea what happened. Right, let's go back to live action. And see what's happening out there in the field. So 6-second gap now for Micah.
I think Messi made a mistake because I saw a lot of gravel just jumping and Harry almost attacking him.
Yeah, so Mesa is fallen outside of DRS from Shook's look. So this is going to be interesting. The DRS more powerful when you have higher wings, isn't it? Which is also a factor. But look at the gap that Micah has. He's running away with this right now, and he only needs to make up 22 seconds to make that extra pit stop up, and he's still lapping a second a lap quicker than Shooks.
Yeah, I think Shooks is not lapping fast enough to cover this. In my opinion, it might be very difficult for them to keep this, but the question is, when is Micah pitting, no? If he's doing a 3-stop, right, we have to divide these 58 laps into 4, no, even parts, considering he will use maybe the medium, right? We can expect him to pit maybe as soon as lap 12, 13. 12
or 13, yeah. 12 or 13. So you do 13, 26, 39, and then 19 to the end on mediums. That's doable.
Yeah, and when you watch what is currently happening, there is such a big gap between P11 and P10. And he currently wouldn't have this gap, but at the pace he's running, he would probably have it by lap 12. As we see a yellow in sector 2.
What do you mean there's a big gap between P11 and P10?
P12. I see an 8-second gap between Mirko Lukkinen.
No, that's not right.
No,
on that, if you're looking at race view, that was
that was back. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But I see it between P14 and P15. That's
the
real,
gap.
right?
Yeah, that's the real
gap. he currently has it, and he would have about 7 seconds to run until he finds a hard tire runner. And maybe when he catch to the group, the medium runners, they already have to pit or close to pit, so he wouldn't lose that much time.
The key for him will be where he comes out in the middle of those medium runners. If he can get ahead of Scott Mitchell-Marm, for example, in this...
Oh, no.
No, yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? In 5 laps, he would need to gain 5 seconds. And he is 1 point... not 5 seconds,
No,
10
even
seconds.
more.
10 seconds, sorry, yeah. But he's 1.2 seconds faster right now, and on a fresh set of softs versus old mediums, it might be actually reasonably easy to overtake. We'll have to see. But that's the problem with the 3-stop. That train goes all the way to this. That's what we're watching. We're watching the train right now. And Mitchell-Marm has dropped off a little bit from the back of Russo, but this train here is going to be the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, they will not take as long to pit whenever he reaches this train, so he will still have quite of a run to go, and we will see where this group will pit into, because they also have to look for traffic. It's not like, hey, you go into a 2-stop and you will not get any kind of traffic. Yeah, you will get traffic, and while you're leading with that traffic, that will be the moment from Micah, even though with all the tires, to even increase the gap. So there is a battle here very clearly. I think Joel doesn't have enough pace to sustain this, because he's still 9/10 a lap with a harder compound to hold on this. And for sure, the engineers from Brem, Netrex, and Kings, they have to try to look into something to gain more things.
Yeah, absolutely. Lewis Mesa then was your pick for the race win, wasn't he? And we're watching him now in P3. Do you still feel like that?
He's in a great position, isn't he? He is the second driver in the, let's say, alt strategy, right?
Yeah.
He's in a great spot, and he's just contesting for it. I think he's in a great spot.
It's interesting. The thing is, though, Micah's made up half the difference he needs to make already on lap 10. That's the key for me, is that you'd want to make half the distance up by half distance, right? Lap 29, you'd want to be 12 seconds, let's say, better off, and it's not happening. Like, it's happening faster than that for Micah. He's still 1.2 seconds faster than Shucks right now, and Shucks is kind of the bottle in this train. And it's interesting to see Mitchell. What does Mitchell, Russo, and Granader Oro do? Do they 3-stop from here, or are they going to switch to a 2-stop? Because they just aren't able to use that pace like Micah has. It was so key for Micah to get through on lap 1.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact between him and Jux, and I'm not sure if maybe Jux has some kind of damage from that contact. Maybe that would explain the pace he's having, because it's really not a good pace at all. It's lapping this slow with the mediums when they should be well over faster than the soft compounds, especially when you push them, right? I don't know, there is something wrong with Shuk's car or Shuk's way to manage the race. This would be a great race management if Micah was behind.
That's true. Yep, absolutely the case. But Micah, that was the first lap he had that was a little bit slower, so his tyres have started to drop. Still faster than everyone else on track right now. Daniel Scott, shout out to him for being able to complete more than one lap for a race for once. Down there in P17, but in with a chance of points. He's not out of it yet. P17, he's a fair bit ahead of Yannis Volborn, who has made a pit stop for some reason, I believe. Volborn hasn't made a pit stop, but is somehow 16 seconds behind Scott.
He waited a lot to get to do the first lap. We've seen it that the first lap he was, that's a big drift in the rears. And those tires are the critical ones, I would say, in this Grand Prix. But yeah, it looks like Volborn is struggling a bit over this car right now. Although Magnussen was looking great for tonight, unfortunately, he couldn't last more than 10 meters due to the engine shutdown from Sandeep. As we see, the KV86 car is not doing as well in hands of the German driver. So we see Victor Grano de Oro set in.
Shooks and Mesa are very close to one another again. But Shooks is very slow right now. He's 24.9 on that last lap. He's very slow.
Yeah, he's racing 2.1 seconds slower than Matej. So it really makes it's hard to understand what is going on, right? And Victor just did the purple sector 3, Victor Grano de Oro, with a medium that is 12 lap old compared to any other. So it looks like everyone probably has a lot of pace here. Well, it's a strategy, but I'm not entirely sure what is going on.
If I was Micah, I would stay out as long as I possibly could right now.
100%.
Absolutely. As clearly he still has pace over Shook, so just keep going.
But it doesn't matter, Shooks. It matters Grimolitsi, it matters Andrzejewski, it matters all these people that are at the end of the group. As long as he's racing faster than them, as we see Mesa pitting.
Okay.
Oh,
now
this was not in my bingo cards. Oh wow.
Mine either. From a set of mediums, he pits on lap 13. I mean, he's clearly trying to undercut Shooks, but
I think he got tired of driving so slow.
Yeah, but
I think
so. Is this now a 3-stop? This is now a 3-stop,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. There's no way. Like, Mitchell to do the same.
So Mitchell makes more sense being on softs, right? He's gone to another set of softs. They're now in some clear air, quite a bit of clear air as well. But for I guess, you know, if he's gone to a set of softs and converted to a 3-stop, the fact that Shooks is so slow. Actually, to be fair, that last lap, Micah was even with him on pace for the first lap, but first time in this race anyway. So Micah probably is coming in this lap, I would say. So that would make sense. Lap 13 makes sense from a 3-stop point of view. And Mitchell now is going to get a huge undercut on those guys in front of him, as is Mesa. So these guys will probably end up P2, P3 once all of the pit stops have shaken out. But it's hard to see. Micah's going to get held up quite badly, isn't he? As he pits.
He's pitting, yeah.
So he's going to come out, as you say, around.
Grimolitsi.
Yeah, Grimolitsi. Andrzejewski, that sort of region, isn't he? It's going to be tight. There's some more.
Oh my God.
So Shooks is in. So he was driving slowly but wasn't extending. So it's a 3-stop for most people.
I'm baffled. I am very confused. But this doesn't make sense from a strategic perspective. You just let yourself undercut and now you're behind. Was that the whole pace that Scholl had and just Matthews is this superior compared to the rest? That is a great question.
I mean, maybe the softs are just that much better than the mediums, but yeah, that's maybe Shooks just doesn't have a race car. That's possible as well. But Micah then has come out, as you say, is behind Grimolitsi, actually further behind than I thought he would be. Must have had a poor in-lap. But he is nevertheless our net race leader. Now it's all going to be what happens strategy-wise for those at the very top of the field, as Mitchell Marm on a set of mediums, Harry Smith on a set of mediums, Machida on a set of mediums. How far will they go?
If I'm Harry, he's looking in a... Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm Harry, I'm keep going. But yeah, if I'm Scott Mitchell Marm, I keep going. There's no shot. I stopped just 2 laps later than everybody else on the same strat.
Yeah.
You just acknowledge, hey, I lost the undercut. I lost any chance. I'm gonna be at the end of the group, which I was anyway, but I'm gonna create my chances.
So this is Mesa and Mitchell will easily get past Harry Smith, and there they go. So too will Shooks, as we saw, but Shooks has been overtaken by Mesa and Mitchell, and through as well, side by side actually, with Federico Russo. They are down into turn 2 then, and this is going to hold up Harry Smith quite substantially, actually, isn't it? So Russo P11 then, and doing a good job having, I believe he's made a pit stop, is that right? Yes, he has?
Yeah, he did the
so
pit
he
stop.
is undercut, so he's undercut Smith as well. So the only drivers left who were yet to stop, Grimolitsi, Andrzejewski, Lucchini, Taras, Macheda and Mitchell Marm. And you have to assume that that's all of the 2-stoppers right there, and everyone else is 3-stopping, and that's interesting to me. I thought it would be the other way around.
I thought as well. I'm just very confused. Maybe Martinez and Sandeep, they were aiming more for the 2-stop. But as we see someone going very, very wide, I think it was Joel Zux. Right now, not looking great for him. He clearly is very far behind. As we see Pavel stopping, which makes sense, so you can make room for Mateusz, who is just overtaking Grimolitsi in the main straight, and he will be eyeing to overtake Lucchini in the very next. Oh, sorry, Lucchini.
So
why there is an optimal there? Ah, it's a lap car. Okay, so he will be eyeing to overtake Lucchini in the next lap.
So Andrzejewski pits from a set of mediums and goes to softs. So I wonder if he switched to. Oh, as around goes Russo. Sorry, Lucchini, right? No,
Lucchini,
not
Lucchini.
Russo. No, wait, who was it?
It was Lucchini.
It was Lucchini. It was Lucchini. Okay. So it was Lucchini. That's I got confused. Easily done. Lucchini then did go around, and that's a shame for Lucchini because he was doing a really good job on those old medium
That's another
tires.
position for Micah.
It is another free position for Micah, and he lost it. No, he's obviously got no front left. Wow.
Neither front wing.
Yeah, and now he has no front wing either. He's going to get away with it, I think, in terms of suspension damage. That'll just be a front wing. I don't think the tyres hit the wall. So it should just be a relatively quick stop. And he was due to pit anyway, and he's halfway through the lap. So it's not the end of the world. As Micah, wow, is 2.2 seconds faster than these leaders in front of him. He's already up with them. And he's made up that pit stop.
Is he going to overtake now in turn 2?
Yeah, he's going to make at least one move, isn't he, on this lap alone. And through he goes past Oliver Taras, and that'll be really easy as Taras is miles wide. And so he's made the pit stop up. So the 3-stop is clearly the faster strat.
Well, right now it makes sense because they are not finding as much traffic as it was expected. When the strategy unfolded, then it clearly just looked like, yeah, they will not have the traffic. All these people who went for the 3-stop, who started on the mediums, they will be holding Mateusz when the tires are new. But since they pitted for the 3-stop, they just made the room clear for Mateusz. So they just harakiri'd themselves, you know, the term of harakiri. So
I don't know what that means.
It's a Japanese term when, you know, the Japanese, they were knifing themselves in honor, you know, to preserve honor of the family.
Oh, I thought it was seppuku.
Might be wrong then, maybe. I don't know. But as we see, Mateusz Micah just adding pressure on Ruben Macheda, it should be a pretty easy overtake. Although it won't be as easy since Macheda is taking the slipstream from the King's racing car, although he's not defending, and he will just let the door open for turn 1. Easy peasy for Mateusz Micah.
Micah was clever there. He positioned his car in such a way that Macheda couldn't block him, even though he didn't necessarily have an overlap, as the other Optimal is unlapping himself, interestingly. Yeah, Micah then, this is going to be very easy against Scott Mitchell-Marm as well, as Andrzejewski is pushing hard on those soft tyres. And in fact, Micah does him easily into a corner you wouldn't normally overtake. Such is the grip difference. So these guys, they're going to try a 2-stop. From where they are, I feel like it's not going to work, but they could also switch to a 3-stop right now and go soft to the end, because of course Micah does have to run another compound of tyre.
Yeah, and if you see, Luis is 8 seconds behind Mateusz right now, so he overall won 2 seconds on this time loss he has had so far, and let's see how it goes. But at the end, Luis doesn't have any advantage over Micah because he just drove the medium tire as long as Micah drove the soft tire. So what is up next for them? Because it looks like everyone is struggling with this medium tire.
What I'm confused by is that Mace has gone on to another set of mediums, and Mitchell in right behind him on a set of softs is going to be able to just sit there in his DRS for a few laps, protect those softs as Machida indeed goes for a set of softs. So I think they're doing a reverse 3-stop. I'm not sure anyone's on a 2-stop. I'm not going to lie.
No, nobody.
Grimolizzi maybe.
Grimolizzi could be. Grimolizzi is on the hards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's on the hards. You have to use the hards if you want to make the 2 stops, and since everyone started on the medium, makes me wonder how short the medium was lasting. That whoever started on the medium is going for a 3-stop.
Yeah, and they're just going softs to the end, and it's the reverse of what Micah did. But of course, Micah was able to use those softs to his advantage in that first stint, while Shooks was holding everyone else up on with quite a slow pace. And Shooks is going to be lucky here. He's dropped miles off the back of Mitchell and Mesa as well, having pitted, around the same lap as them. In fact, 1 lap later, and he's on a set of mediums, and he just can't keep with Mesa.
Yeah, he's not able to keep with him. Seems like the Spanish driver really wanted to take this undercut, that he was being held by the Hungarian driver. And we can see that, look, Mitchell it's very close also to the Spanish driver, so it was the right decision for both of them to sacrifice the length on the medium tire for just the undercut. Yeah,
that's what's happened there, isn't it? But well, of course, Mitchell on softs, Mesa on the mediums, but they've got ahead of Shooks, and now Mitchell Malm then is the only other driver then who I think is probably 2-stopping alongside Grimolizzi. But even then, he could switch to a 3-stop right now. The medium compound tyre just doesn't seem to have lasted anything like the length it should have done in certain drivers' hands. Mitchell Malm's done actually a really good job to get them to this lap, but he's slow. He's his lap times are slow. He's not slow, but his lap times are slow. He's 3 seconds now a lap slower than Micah, so he's going to pit right now. It'd be fascinating to see what he goes on to.
Yeah, he's kind of on hards right now, I guess. At this point, it doesn't help you to go full on the softs, I guess. Maybe
I don't know. I don't know about that, because the gaps are quite big, aren't they? If you look at the gaps to the cars behind, he pits for a set of softs. He comes out a few seconds behind Andrzejewski. That's not too bad. P10.
But you're in a real P2 right now. You're in a real P2, right? If you go for the hards, you will still race quite. Did it update yet?
Well, to be honest, this track has been fine for updating historically, so I think he's on another set of mediums. We'll see, but that's what I think he's done.
If he's on another set of medium, he goes the same length as he did now, right? He will go down to lap 41, 42.
Yeah.
Can
he
then
softs
make
the end.
it to softs? That's a great question.
He's got to go probably 22 laps on this stint, hasn't he, to make sure that the softs will get to the end. It's tight, isn't it, with mediums, not hard, but clearly for him, the mediums were a better tyre. And crucially for him, he's come out ahead of Grimolizzi, who's the other driver on that strategy. So, we'll see how that shakes out, but it's
fascinating. He's in a great spot.
Fascinating race.
I think he's in a great spot to finish between P4 and P6. Between P4 and P7, I would say. He's in a great spot to finish there. Because, Shooks is holding up the group again. I think for P3 will be hard. I don't think so. But for the rest, it could be. So we see Osvaldo Angelone trying to fight for it with Machete. We saw him previously smoking. It seems like the situation has been stabilized with him. But the 2 green stripes, neither of them survived. I guess it was engine-related issues, which were the other teams that were smoking. As we see a purple Sector 1 from Ruben Mesiede, and who will be eyeing on Victor Grano de Oro and Pavel Andrzejewski pretty soon.
So the Thiago Mello we saw reversing into the chicane on lap 1, and then, of course, binned it further around the lap. So that was why he retired. But yeah, Victor Bernat was the one with the engine issues, and he has not made it very far. Federico Russo's driving well, isn't he, for Santon? Up there in P5 and closing in on Schucks, who stuck it on pole and has had no race pace comparatively whatsoever. He has, it's just been quite slow compared to Mesa and Mitchell, and he's up there because of his track position at the start, of course. But yeah, Harry Smith up there in P6 as well, which is decent for him. And he's actually right on the back here of Russo. Can he make a move into turn 2? It's an unusual overtaking opportunity. To be really, really close. And whoa, and then the dirty air catches him out. And we saw that in F1, didn't we, on the weekend, how easy that is to do, especially in this generation of cars. So Smith drops off the back of Russo for the time being. But Mitchell, Mesa, Micah, I feel like that's probably going to be our podium, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think from a strategic point of view, Harry and Federico maybe did a mistake pitting 1 lap after the result. I think there was no reason to just do it right after him. You just assume you're gonna lose 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds if you go longer, sure, but you at least create a delta to yourself and you create an alternative track to do, and maybe open yourself for opportunities later of overtaking.
Yeah.
But like this, you have to save tires, and if you're not able to save tires because the dirt here is so massive, you really need to do something. You cannot keep on the same linear strategy, because we pitted early. We pitted lap 13, and what are we going to do? Are we going to pit lap 26 now? What are the next steps?
By the way, I have my eye on Andrzejewski. He is lapping faster or equal to Micah, and of course he's got the mediums out of the way. So I have my eye on him. He's got softs to the end, and presumably the guys in front of him are on the same sort of 3-stop strategy as him, but he has a huge delta now, a huge tyre offset for the remainder of the race. Every time he pits, he has fewer laps per stint to do. So I think as he cruises up to the back of these guys in front, I think we could see Pavel cycle through the pit stops and come out ahead of these guys. This could be a P4 for Andrzejewski, and we've talked about him making positions up during the race before. This is another opportunity for him. You can see all of the cars in front of him, and it's not even that far to get to Luke Mitchell, who has to use the mediums at the end.
Yeah, but how would I do it? I would, because it's going to be hard for him anyway to overtake, I would undercut them. You're good with the tires, right? So just undercut them. You overtake all of them 3 in 1 attempt, and you forget about it, and then the next stint, as soon as you're in front, you park the bus, you play full catenaccio, you make it long, and you just make the tires go alive, and then you just play your cards for the last stint. That's what I would do if I was Pavel, because overtaking 3 cars who has a slipstream on each other, that is a stretch.
Well, the problem he has, right, is that he has to pit kind of almost now, really, because they're due another pit stop based on their previous stints. Mitchell Mesa and Mitchell pitted on what, 13?
Does he have a gap,
12?
Though?
Andrzejewski
yes,
does have a gap. Yeah, he does have a gap. Yeah, he has a really big one. But does he get to the end on another 2 sets?
That doesn't matter if you get the mediums now. They won't overtake you, though.
Yeah, he could do that. He could do that.
I think...
He's got options. The point is he has options. He can't use his pace right now. He's got to hope that these guys pit if he's going to stay out. But he has cruised up to the back of them. He's been over a second a lap faster. Can he overtake them on track? That's the other thing, because obviously with the tyre offset, and he's going to try, isn't he, on Harry Smith down into turn 1, takes the inside line and does make the move on Harry Smith. So because he's a second a lap faster, his tyres are better, he's actually able to make the moves, look, Carlos.
Yeah, but Harry didn't defend it too much. If a driver actually defends it, I feel like he's gonna struggle more to go through. I feel like Harry just opened the door. He didn't want to have any kind of issues. He's doing his own race, maybe. But if you defend it, I think it's very difficult. You saw he was right in the diffuser, and still he had to dive into turn 1 to make the move. So not easy.
Mateusz Majka is surely due a pit stop in the next lap or two, and he would come out around Victor Granda Oro in 9th place, and just hopefully, I think it depends if my pit delta is correct. This is lapped Shiba who's going to get in the way. It does a good job of getting out of the way, actually. Andrzejewski probably, and here indeed comes Majka. Another set of softs I'm anticipating here.
They tuned the Superlights radio. They're hearing us for the strategy.
Mitchell Malm is indeed on a set of mediums, by the way. We talked about did the tyres need to update? He is on mediums. And Majka then comes out and... what's going on? So close to the leader. And what was going on there between Harry Smith and... who was it there? That was it Macheda? And let's have a look at that then. What happened there down the straight? That was nearly chaos for Mateusz Majka, but Smith doing a full 360 there on the straight. What happened there? So Macheda trying to step out of the slipstream, and Smith comes over on him, and Macheda, Macheda jinked to the right, but he was close enough to hit the back of Smith. So yeah, that's
it's the lights of the car.
Yeah, I agree. I think he does. But Smith definitely squeezing him towards the edge, but Macheda had more room and then tried to jinx the inside and couldn't do anything about it. That's on Macheda. That is Macheda's fault, unfortunately for the German optimal driver. So that takes Harry Smith out of things, and that will really wear his tyres as well. And once again, Majka then having a nice easy run up the inside of Russo, takes that position relatively easily. He now has Zsolt Schuks in front of him. I'll tell you what this does do. Yeah, I'll tell you what this does do. Andrzejewski will now be, well, I mean, as Macheda does indeed. Oh, sorry, Andrzejewski pits. Okay, he only did. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but he's fine. I think he's going for the undercut on Macheda. He will not make it on Russo though. So presumably Russo will be in front.
Well, everyone on the pits,
yeah. This was luckily enough that nothing happened to Majka, because I saw Majka's car around there and it was just wow, no, it would be mayhem. I'm
still a little confused. Andrzejewski pitted on lap 15 and only made it. Well, I guess it was 13. I guess it was 12 or 13 laps. He's probably all right, isn't he? But he's got to do 15 and 15 to the end of the race. So maybe he's doing another set of mediums in the mix. So he certainly can afford to. But still, I have my eye on him for at least P4. I think P4 actually. Right. So we missed some other stuff. So Mitchell and Mitchell has pitted. Mesa is still out there. So this will potentially promote. Yeah, Russo pitted as well. We saw that they all came in together. But Mitchell is pitted, but Mesa has not. And Mitchell's gone for a set of mediums as well. So he's doing the medium stint now as opposed to at the end of the race. So can he undercut Mesa? What is Mesa doing right now? Mesa is Schuks pits from 4th. I think
that's something Mesa should be aware of, because you cannot let Schuks undercut you by any chance.
Well, if Mitchell's going to undercut him for sure, right?
Yeah, but it's already done. That's already done. So you're looking for a fight at the end, and that's it. He undercut you. You just don't react to it. As we see, Schuks already behind Pavel. So
Yeah.
Should be Mesa aware already of Russo? Should he react to Russo now? Because you really don't want to be behind Russo. And they should start already for looking for gaps, because I don't think at this point you can fight Mateusz. I think Mateusz is out of reach completely.
For sure.
And for doing the two-stop now, Luis has still to use the soft tire. So I just don't think you can make it from any point.
No, you can't. He has to three-stop. Because
exactly.
he would have to do another 10 laps at least. In fact, he's in
There
now.
he
So
goes.
yeah, so this is the question: does he go two softs to the end? I mean, he's only at halfway.
He has
So
to go
surely
soft now.
surely. Well, you say that, but can he get two softs to the end? He's only got mediums, 15 laps a piece on average.
He's
so
done 17 laps now on the
Okay.
because he pitted lap 12 or lap 13 with the undercut.
so you think this is softs and softs? I think this will be
I would
mediums
go-
then softs.
I would go soft if it was him, because if you can make a double soft, you try the soft now, as we see fastest lap from Pavel, and if you cannot make it, you just put a medium at the end and that's it, and you go for an undercut on Mitchell. But to put the medium now and set yourself to be undercutted by the drivers behind, I think it's too dangerous, and you don't allow yourself the opportunity to do a double soft.
Well, he's done a medium, so
Yeah.
that is that. So interestingly, just by that, when did Mitchell pit? 2 laps ago? He's 4.4 seconds down the road.
Yeah, the undercut is very powerful on this track, and he will
Huge.
start to make ground by a 3/10 gap, maybe somehow anytime soon. As we see a Team Shiva car just going off track. I think it's a lap car there. It's very important to get out of the way here on every single car.
I can
We see
hear.
also an Apex car there.
I can imagine what was happening in the Mitchell's Discord there as they saw that Shiva off track.
Oh my guys, I would be worse. I would be worse than anyone. Who does like to be held up by any kind of lap cars? And as we see, look, Mitchell going for the move on his brother, and we see also the Apex Oliver Taras also going quite long right now. Currently in P3.
He's on hards. Yeah.
He's on hards. I'm not entirely sure which tire Oliver started. I think he also started on hards. I'm not
Mediums
sure.
race view
He
is
started-
saying. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I mean,
he pitted on lap 18. And
Did
then
he start P15 or P16? I can't remember where he qualified.
yeah, something like that. But
Yeah.
P13, yeah. So he's got no rears at all. Look at that car. So we've got a yellow flag in sector 3 as well. Difficult to see
Oliver
otherwise.
qualified 15th, started.
Oh, Kanaya
Oh,
just
Chinalia.
lost his front wing somewhere. He was having some adventures earlier in the lap as well, wasn't he? So Micah then leads by 9 seconds from Machida, and Machida is copying his strategy, but yet to stop, I believe, on this stint. So because he started on the medium, so he's on the same strategy, and Machida now pits. Machida is on the same strategy as Pavel, where they started on mediums and then are going soft. So
Pavel undercut him 3 laps ago, so let's see. From here, the only way you can maybe make it until the end is with a very stretched hard tire, maybe. It is a chance for them to do that. We see still his old tires. But he tried to create a delta. As we see Pavel going for the move into turn 2, not quite making it over Federico Russo, who will defend the position, trying to do a great result tonight for Santon, and let's see if he has another chance in the upcoming lap.
yeah, Pavel he needs to make this move relatively quickly if he can on Russo. But Russo, of course, is only pitted a few laps ago as well. In fact, they're on the same strategy, just Russo's choosing the mediums over the soft. So yeah, Pavel will be faster in the first half of the stint, and Russo potentially will get back at him in the second half. So Pavel doesn't really want to sit here behind the car if he can help it. And I'm interested in Mesa's pace as well. So we've got Mitchell's duo, but certainly Luke who was with Mesa. They're both on the mediums again. I think Mitchell's got him, personally. I think Mesa doesn't quite seem to have the pace. Mitchell just did a 22.8. That 21.4 from Mesa. I take it back. That's very rapid. That's very quick indeed. And Taras,
he was on traffic though. Look, he just overtook Oliver Taras. We will see what kind of pace can Luke do now. And the good thing for Luis is that he will either catch them late enough that they will be already pitting for their last set of tires, all these drivers, right? Or they will be so worn on tires that it should be easier overtakes. That is the good thing of himself delaying the pit stop. Of course, as we see blue flags, which are really, really hard on this track. You find a lap car as we saw someone there, I think it was the lap car still in the grass. But if you find them in this very tricky sector too, it is very difficult.
Pavel Andrzejewski is 24 seconds behind Micah. They're presumably on almost identical setups. They've certainly got identical cars, and that just shows you what the track position did for Mateusz, doesn't it? To be honest with you, at the start of the race, it's enabled him to get away and build that gap, and he's now 17 seconds ahead of Mitchell in P2, and I think Micah could easily win this race by 30 seconds come the end. This time Pavel has got a very good exit out of the final corner on Russo. Russo not defending, and Andrzejewski goes down the inside into turn 1, covers the apex and makes the move, and that was important for him on those soft tyres. Hopefully for him he can use the pace while he has it, because presumably Russo will come back at him later in this stint.
Maybe. Let's see how it goes for the Italian driver. Now he needs to care about Olszuk's, who started on pole tonight and currently in P9, trying to get now positions, trying to go up to P8. It's not being the great. As we see Russo going wide. It's not the first time we see him going wide. We saw him previously going wide in turn 3. But yeah, the TTF Racing driver will be looking for overtaking now the Italian driver in the next straight. The good thing, let's say, of the DRS detection point being 0.7 is that there are car trains, but there are not DRS trains here tonight. So if you really have the pace with this tire advantage and you're managed to get close to the car in front, as we see the Optiminal in front, I think it was the lap car of Canzonieri who was pitting, as we see Oliver Taras also pitting, doing a weird move just before pitting, going for a soft tire here, which he is still mandatory to use. 23 laps from here, unless you drive turtle, snail combined to the square, you will not make it.
No, Schucks goes past Russo then, moves up into P7, and he's now on a set of softs, and finally the car seems to have come alive for him. But it's a little too late for him. He's so far back. Having started on pole, would have been hoping for a much better result than he's going to end up with. He could easily not make it past the 2 stoppers actually here, of which there are 3 left out on track. Mitchell Marm, actually Luis Mesa so Mesa stopped twice, but he's showing us stopped once, which is strange. But Grimalitzi and Mitchell Marm actually in front, still on yet to stop for their second and final time, you'd presume. But Mitchell Marm is the one to watch. He's up there in P3 on track right now. He's the cork in the bottle for Mesa. Can Mesa get him down into turn 1? It's going to be important for him that he does, because there's not exactly further opportunities later in the lap readily available. Can Mesa get him? He's going to go and down the inside, make a late move, and he's slightly overrun, Can Mitchell get the traction down and fight back into turn 2? It looks like he's going to go side by side with him, but this should be easy enough for Mesa, who squeezes through and moves up into the podium positions. But 4 seconds back of Mitchell, Luke Mitchell, who was they were side by side, weren't they, before they pitted? And that undercut is super powerful.
Yeah, now he has some laps to try to catch on him. Presumably would be about It's 22 laps to go, so you have 7 to 8 laps to catch him, maybe. Let's see how it unfolds, right? But it should be good enough for Luke to at least have the position on track right now. And let's see how he keeps it at the end and how the traffic would be for Luke at the end. Presumably pitting earlier than Lewis. But yeah, this track position was important for Lewis in being King's teammates Scott and Luke, trying to do a bit of workmate, and Pavel just right in the diffuser from Scott Mitchellman.
Yeah, Pavel still has a chance of a podium, actually. I will review my 4th place after Mesa's sort of pit stop cycle has dropped him back a little bit. He's not that far back, is he, Andrzejewski? This could be an excellent drive to a podium. Mesa has to cling on if he can. But Andrzejewski with those softs, and we know that both of them will run softs in the final stint as well. And it's all about whether Mesa can build a little bit. I think Mesa pitting later will enable him to build enough of a gap. He can certainly stay out longer in this stint as well, can't he? So I think it should still be advantage Mesa. Yeah, Pavel started on the medium.
Yeah, Pavel started on the medium. The thing is, Pavel can do the same thing again. You can go for the undercut on Lewis, right? As he did on Machete. Right, because Machete and Pavel, they were together, and look at the gap between Pavel and Machete. It's quite a big gap. It's close to 6 seconds. So he has a chance to do it again, and now he's losing time behind Scott because you need to wait until you get into the main straight to do the move. But why not to force the Brem driver to react to your attack?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree necessarily. It's just whether he will have enough laps to go to the end on a set of softs, because obviously Mesa's going to use the softs as Andrzejewski makes easy work of Mitchell Malm, who now has to fend Zsolt Schuks off. And Schuks there on the soft tyres. Yeah, he's going to try to get back further up the field, but wow, and Schuks trying to go down the inside there. It's not going to happen either. So he's coming up into the fast left-hander at the top of the hill. This will now be it for the rest of the lap until the pit straight again, you would have thought. It's difficult to overtake from here on in. You can maybe send it into the chicane, but you have to have a really, really good exit, and he hasn't had it. So this will hold up Schuks. And whoa, as Russo nearly loops it behind him. He just about got away with that one. But there's been some good battles, hasn't there, in this mid-pack. But Micah now a 20-second gap to the lead with 20 laps to go. We won't probably talk about him again until the final lap. He could win by half a minute here.
Yeah, he could. He's racing about 5/10 a lap faster. So yeah, it stacks up. 58 divided by 2 is 29, so yeah, it could be the case. Let's see how the fight for the podium that we have with Luke, Luis, and Pavel unfolds, and how Scott can actually resist this. Because right now Zux is very close, Rusto is very close. He managed to hold in the straight. Now the Hungarian driver will try it into turn 2, goes for the inside move, they touch, they go super wide, they go off track, and then Russo takes the freebie. Thank you very much, I'll go through this.
Well, I don't know about that one. That was way, I mean, he didn't even keep it on track, Shucks. That was a very optimistic lunge, if you ask me. I'd like to see it on board, but the contact happened very late in the corner. I think he's left this too late, and he didn't even keep it on track, overtaking him. So I think that's a shame from Shucks there, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's sent it way too hard there. It's not the same as Micah on lap 1, is it? That's just too much too late.
Too much. Yeah, too much too late. He tried to replicate what Micah did, and it didn't go as well. Once the tires tangle, they were actually lucky, with the current car model that the issue that the tire just pops out, that it didn't pop out for either of them, especially for Zsolt, because the rear tends to pop. So now Ruben Machete will have a chance on Scott, and if I was a Scott, I wouldn't be happy at all about this.
No, I agree. And I think Shucks will probably cop a penalty after the race for that, especially as he didn't let him back through straight away. And yeah, that's the fact that he didn't keep it on track makes it even worse, in my opinion. If he'd have, kept it on track or whatever, you could argue he was ahead of the apex and whatever. But even then, it's a big old send.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Andrzejewski then has a nice little breathing gap to Russo as a result of that, and
Luke is losing a lot right now to Luis.
Yeah, he is. So this is where that tyre offset is happening, isn't it? And Mitchell...
9/10.
Yeah, Mitchell, what did he do? So he did soft, and now he's on a medium, which is the same as Mesa. And he pitted. He's done, what's he done? 12 laps so far, Mitchell, versus 10 laps for Mesa. And it's just clear that the softs work better on that car for Mitchell than the mediums. And Mesa could actually get back within DRS. It could swap round. And it's fascinating, isn't it, for the final stint? And you'd assume both will go for a set of softs. As yeah, Micah, yeah, he has to go mediums. He's done 3 softs. So yeah, medium to the end for Micah. So still going to be a relatively straightforward victory for him. And then we've seen, so Scott Mitchell-Martin does finally pit. He's got to do 17 laps on a set of softs. That is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot, but he's being committed to this strategy, and I think he's not the one who is attempting the shortest, because I'm looking at Oliver Taras, and I think he's gonna try to do those 23 laps on the soft, because he doesn't have any other option that is better than that. Let's see how it unfolds, because Micah is just right behind Luis. Luis is just right behind Mitchell, and I assume Mitchell is spitting now. Does he have a gap though? He will just land right behind Harry. It would be neck and neck with Harry, so he wouldn't have clean air. But
you think Mitchell's gonna pit? Oh, he does. Okay, so that means Mesa is going to be on a set of softs for the end of the race. I think Mesa will get him then. I assumed that Mitchell was going to try and extend this and go for a set of softs at the end, but clearly he's not able to make those tyres work, because Micah should make this quite easy on Mesa.
He had DRS Mesa because of Luke's, yeah, so he will have DRS here again, as there is only one detection point on this track. Yeah, now Luis, he really has to push and make sure when Micah overtakes you that you don't lose time. It's crucial.
Absolutely. That he could do with not being
and
involved
Luke is
in any sort of
Harry so
battle.
Far.
Okay, that's quite important for Mitchell, because I think there's a bit of a gap in front of him to Grimalitzi, who is on a set of softs as well and trying to get to the end on those. He pitted a few laps ago. How is he going to get to the end? That's going to be a battle for him to face as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah, but Luis' pace is also dropping right now. It's starting to drop to what Luke was just 2 laps ago. So it looks like the lifespan of these mediums seems to be similar to Luke and Luis.
So and, Mitchell, sorry, quickly, Mitchell is on a set of softs. So he is going to the end on this set of softs. So, okay, so this does... That is what I thought he'd do, but it's a long old way to the end of the race on this. I know engineering them is Jarl Tyen, and he loves an aggressive, long final stint on softs. So it's probably a bit of advice from Jarl there. But in comes Andrzejewski then, another set of softs, absolutely.
That is super important, because it forces Luis to pit the very next lap. He doesn't have such a big gap with Pavel. You just have 1 lap margin of pivoting, for reacting. You don't have 2 laps of reacting. So Mesa is forced to pit by this fact, because if you wait 2 laps, you will be behind Pavel.
Mesa has also been overtaken by Micah on this lap as well, presumably down into turn 1. We didn't see it happen, but to be honest with you, that was always inevitable. So Pavel could get past Mesa as well here then.
If Mesa doesn't pit, my money is on Pavel maybe overtaking Mesa. It will depend on how he clears the 2 cars he has in front, because Mesa is right where Harry Smith is.
Yeah, and Smith, and that's a lapped car as well, isn't it? In there as well.
Yeah.
It's the other, it's Kunzanieri and the other Optiminal who's just run wide off the track. So, Pavel... Yeah, Mesa didn't pit. Okay, so I don't think that's not stupid, to be honest, because I think the tyre offset is actually important in the final stint, to be honest with you. There's no points at half distance. There's points in the final stint, and presumably he feels like he's going to get overtaken anyway. So Machida pits then from P6. Granit Oro as well, making his final stop too. And yeah, this lapped car needs to go out of the way and does so. Now, can Pavel get through?
If Pavel overtakes here, he wins a position with Lewis.
Yeah, and Smith is defending hard as a result of, well, knowing, obviously Brame and Netrex are sort of working together, sistery teams. I wouldn't say they're as close as others are in different divisions, but yeah, Smith does hold on to that position for now. So can Pavel get through into the chicane? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, this could be important for Mesa. This could well be important for Mesa.
He has to pit now, Luis. He cannot, you know, as we see Russo just right in the diffuser from Pavel. You can see how much time he's losing here.
Lots is the answer, isn't it? Absolutely loads. See what the middle sector
Mesa is not
times.
pitting.
So, Harry Smith is miles off the pace in the middle sector. That's the slowest middle sector he's done. First time in 15 laps. He's been in the 30s in the middle sector as well. So that's not good for Andrzejewski. Mitchell 20.4 as Smith pits. Those tyres clearly had enough. And Mesa is going for a very short final stint and a very big tyre offset. So Andrzejewski isn't clear of Mesa. So I think Mesa should be able to come out in front still, even if he pits on this lap. It will be very tight though.
I think it will be very tight. I think it will be very tight. Just a small mistake from Luis, and Pavel will be probably in front, because if Luki is saving tires and doing 20.4, I could expect Pavel to do a 19 here, and that is 3 seconds faster than Luis a lap, and the 25 second will turn into 22. Yeah, well, as we see Luke now being behind Grimolizzi, who is in this 2-stopper, he needs to overtake those people for actual track position. Apex has done a really great strategy tonight so far.
Yes, although I don't think Grimolizzi's getting to the end, to be honest with you. And indeed, Taras pits then, so Taras unable to make those tyres last to the end either. So we'll see where he comes out. But here comes Mitchell then on the back of Grimolizzi and makes that position. So that is net P2 for Luke Mitchell, as Mesa does indeed pit. And will he come out ahead of Andrzejewski? That's the big question. And he does. So that probably means Andrzejewski can't get a podium now. And probably means that Mesa guarantees third. Does he have enough of a tyre offset now on Luke Mitchell to maybe look at getting P2? That's going to be the key.
Half a second a lap we're looking right now.
Yeah, I think he can do that.
Would be maybe not half a second in the first laps, but it might be quite a bigger margin at the end, because Luke went for a really big stretch of the tires.
He did.
Yeah, Pavel just pitted 2 laps later, right, than Luke. Yeah, I don't think Pavel will have enough juice to just get to Luke. But Luis will still struggle to get there, in my opinion. I don't think it would be as easy as you mentioned, Toby.
I am interested in sector splits as well. So it's in Andrzejewski's interest to try and get into DRS if he can. I don't think he's going to be able to. No. I think Mesa's got too much extra grip by the looks of things, as Grimolizzi does pit as well, so unable to get to the end of the race in that car either. So the only 2-stopper that we have left is Scott Mitchell-Mann. And he's the only one who's going to be able to do a 2-stop today. And even then, it's a stretch for him. He's on a long old stint on those softs.
Yeah, it's a really long stint on the softs, but I mean, he will need to fight Taras with very fresh soft tires, and probably as well Victor Grano de Oro with pretty fresh tires as well. So he's aiming to defend up to P, even Grimolizzi, I would say, down to P11. That would be my take.
Yeah, it's not worked, has it, the 2 stops today at all for almost anyone.
Yeah, well, most of them went for these 3 stops, and there was barely not that much traffic, as we see Mesa just painting the track in purple right now, as he really should. Yeah, let's see what the Apex can do after starting P15, P16. They had pretty terrible rounds with disconnections, driver lineup changes, and so on. And even though it's not the brightest race they ever had, as we see Luis Mesa just doing the fastest lap, it's a start for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. George Schucks then is up there in P7 as well. He's got Ruben Macheda in front of him, but Macheda is faster right now than even Russo in front of him. So as Grimolizzi goes down the inside of Grana de Oro, and the 2 very similar looking cars from a distance swap positions, although on the outside back at him, Grana de Oro will try to come, but Grimolizzi on those fresh soft tyres does make that move, although Grana de Oro is not giving it up, goes side by side up the hill into the... Oh, no! The wall! Oh, it's huge! No. It's a huge crash! And they're both going to have to pit. Oh, well, does Grana de Oro get away with it? It looks like maybe he's got away with it. No wing damage for him, but Grimolizzi has lost his front wing. And that was huge. That could have been a huge crash. But in the end, it was a big crash, but in the end, only major damage for Grimolizzi. What happened here then? So Grana de Oro on the outside. Grimolizzi, did he come back across on him? Oh, yes, he did. Yeah. Oh, that's on Grimolizzi, unfortunately. And Grana de Oro did a decent job, actually, keeping it out the wall. And it looks like his tyres are relatively straight. But yeah, Grimolizzi came back across the track for me.
He didn't use any battery here, and that's why the overspeed was generated. Yeah, and I guess Francesco didn't calculate properly, and yeah,
he didn't leave enough room, and unfortunately that is the result. So Grimolizzi back in the pits then. Unfortunately for him, we're robbed of quite an interesting one for him to come back through the pack on soft. So unfortunate for him. But Ruben Macheda, what I was saying, is closing in on Russo. And Russo on a set of mediums, and Macheda on a set of softs, I believe. So yes, that is the case. So Macheda then looking to pick up P5, and that's solid points for Optiminal, considering where they could be. And they've had some issues with driver stability this season, you could say. But Ruben Macheda showing once again he's a decent pedaler, even when he didn't have necessarily the qualifying pace he was potentially hoping for. Russo then is also slower than Andrzejewski, so I think Andrzejewski's 4th is pretty nailed on, but that would be a good drive, wouldn't it? And if we can have a look at where how many positions drivers are made up, you'll see Andrzejewski is made up a substantial amount. Fabian, are you still here with us? Yes, if we can have a little look at the positions gained, you'll see that as Macheda then going round the outside of Russo, unable to make it stick there, but up 10 for Andrzejewski, and Janis Volborn as well showing his class to get back into the points in the KV86. And Daniel Scott, by the way, now is going to score a point.
Yeah, because of Grimolizzi incident, he might have a chance to score a point tonight, although Grimolizzi is just 3 seconds behind with very fresh soft tires, and it would be hard for him to defend. It will depend on how damaged the Apex car is.
Yes, it will. Tontara has had a rough old race, hasn't he, in that Team Shiba car. We've seen him in the wars a couple of times. But good to see some new faces in Superlights once again. And Macheda's going to have to fight another day for this battle for P5, as Mesa has not exactly set the world alight. He's 6/10 faster currently than Mitchell. We'll keep an eye on that gap for you. It was 6 seconds, but he's going to run out of laps, isn't he? I feel. How many laps have we got? 7?
Yeah, he's not
It's
getting...
close, isn't it? It's close.
Well, we see Macheda trying to attempt to move to Russo, but he's not close enough to do it. I mean, Luis has 3.8 seconds to recover. Now he has 7 laps to go. That is about 6/10 a lap. But if you want to recover that before the 7 laps, you want to recover that in the 6th lap, right? So you have at least one shot attempt to do the move, right? He needs to go 7/10 a lap faster to have a shot.
He does.
And that is very difficult. Although, what could happen? It could happen the same thing that happened before. The Luke's tires just completely drop off the pace right at the end, and then you might have a shot.
Mitchell Mal has just been overtaken by Oliver Taras for P9, so it looks like it's going to be P9 at best for Mitchell Mal in the other Kings. Luke Mitchell, though, in P2, happily there right now, as Macheda is close, but feels like maybe he's used the best of his tyres. He's not like all over the back of Russo like he was a couple of laps ago, and he is struggling, isn't he? Although a little bit wide there for Russo out the final corner. Can Macheda get him? Down at the start-finish straight we go. There's only 6 laps to go after this, as Macheda does line him up, does go down the inside of Russo and through into P5 he goes. Russo trying to do the switchback, but it's not going to happen there, and you do get a double DRS zone, if you like. A reminder that it's 7/10 the gap between cars in our championship, as in front, and that was the lapped car then.
Scott?
Okay, so Scott has kind of given up on points then, by the looks of things. We also saw a car. Did we see a yellow flag? What did we see just then? I was going to say something and I've forgotten what it was.
It was Fabian's mouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
But we see his old Shooks now in 8th place. I'm not sure if he's really... What is his game plan from now until the end? He lost the position to Oliver Taras. He's currently 7th. And he has a very similar pace to Scott Mitchell-Malm. So I'm not entirely sure what is it next for the Hungarian driver. Is he eyeing to defend from Scott Mitchell-Malm or just pulling away? It is a bit hard to say for the Hungarian driver who started on pole tonight. And for the rest of the field, our closest actions, we saw Macheda overtaking Russo, but Russo trying to somehow hold on.
Sorry, is that rain? It's raining.
Oh, what?
Where has this come from? Question 1. And question 2, what? Like, what? Okay, what happens now? How hard is the rain?
That's crazy, as we see Harry Smith attacking the inside of Victor Grano de Oro with a pretty damaged car. And I don't know, but I'm down for this, as we see engine smoking as well from behind. I think it was Perseus Miriam. Who,
it's raining. It's raining. It's raining reasonably hard, you know.
Yeah.
This was not on. Okay, so this was not on my bingo cards as Smith runs wide, and yeah, this is going to change everything. The slicks are not good into conditions. Someone should gamble.
I don't know. What does Mitchell do? What does Luis Mesa do? I don't know. I'm just looking at the lap times. Right now they are racing in 21.6. I don't think it's enough, justified enough to go for an Inter tire. It's just causing mayhem. I don't know. I'm out of words. Luckily, I was about to say before the race started that ring weatherman says it's gonna be full sunny today. Thank God I didn't say that.
Yeah, I know. That is interesting. I don't know how long it's supposed to last for.
I don't see any rain in the radar.
No, neither do I. I have no idea where this came from. But nevertheless, it is indeed raining, apparently.
Is a certain Hungarian driver from GPV altering the sensors? Because I don't know. It looks a bit sus to me, if you ask me. I literally have 3 radars opened, and
None
all
of them say rain.
there is no even a cloud.
No, but in game it is raining because the lap times have dropped off a lot. They're 3 seconds, suddenly 3-4 seconds a lap slower than they were. And we saw Harry Smith making a mistake. Mesa then all the way up with Mitchell.
Is the rest even enabled? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And this is interesting. So Mitchell has obviously made a mistake in the wet weather conditions. And now Mesa's all the way up with him. And yeah, the lap times are 4 seconds off. So it's not enough for Inters. It isn't enough for Inters, but this could very quickly become Inter conditions, and anyone who gambles could be 6-7 seconds a lap quicker. They'd have to pit this lap to make a pit stop up. But yeah, if it continues, whatever this random shower is,
I don't know. We don't have game intensity rain right now. We don't know how hard it is. It looks enough, as we see Harry Smith going again on Victor Grano de Oro on the inside on turn 1. Just remember your lesson. Just keep it tight and steady into turn 2. But yeah, now game's on for P2.
The sector splits are very slow. Very slow.
Oof. I mean, the Inters...
The Inters would probably be quicker right now. Micah just did a 25.8.
But it's just 5 seconds. I don't think it's enough.
No, but if it continues, is it still raining? I mean, if it's still if it continues raining, then
it says it's not raining anymore. It says it's not raining anymore.
Okay, it stopped raining. Okay. Right. Well, that answers that, doesn't it? That answers that question. Here comes Mesa then. He is close enough for Mitchell. Mitchell will have to defend this time around. And does he block the inside? No, he doesn't. He allows Mesa to go down the inside and take the position from him. And to be honest with you, it was going to happen, wasn't it? Once he caught him, he's got that tyre offset. And Mitchell is going to have to settle for P3, but still a great result for the King's driver. But Mesa gets through to P2, and fair play to him for doing so.
Yeah, as we see Oliver Taras adding pressure on Federico Russo, he will go through the outside of turn 2. Federico Russo goes a bit wide and push him a bit too much, going off the racing line completely. But Oliver Taras will have another chance in the upcoming 2 laps.
I think that's fine. I think you can do that. It's different to what happened with... I think that's absolutely fine what happened there. You can still take the corner. If you're side by side, you can still take the corner and drive a different line if you want to, as long as you don't leave the track, which is what we saw earlier on in the race between Shooks and Scott Mitchell-Marm. It clearly never making the corner, but I think that's okay from Russo, in my opinion, to do that. You can brake a little bit later and take a wider apex if you want, if you've got the inside of the corner, in my opinion. Right, 2 laps to go then. Micah is 22 seconds clear of Mesa, so unless something crazy happens, he's got this one sewn up. Pavel Andrzejewski is quite a bit faster than Luke Mitchell, who's clearly run out of tyres, actually. And he's 2 seconds faster on that lap. There's 2 laps to go. He could actually catch him, you know.
Yeah, I think the rain altered a bit the status, as we see Taras also jumping on Russo. I think probably into turn 1. And now the Apex Grand Prix driver just managing to go for a P6 after starting in P15 tonight. Yeah, this rain just altered a lot, and when it's wet, you really want the tires to be as new as possible. You don't want them to be degraded at all. That makes a lot of difference. Yeah, I think that messed up the chances of Luke preserving P2, I would say. Maybe it would have been contested at the end, but it would have been less clear than what it is now.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I agree with you. I think the tyres just didn't work for Mitchell as soon as the rain came down. You needed those fresher softs to make it work. So, yeah, it's not worked for Mitchell quite, but it's still, nevertheless, it's a decent result for the King's driver. A fantastic result for Mateusz Majka, who's been absolutely dominant. I said he might win by 30 seconds. It's not quite going to be that. But it is certainly a fantastic drive from the pole. I think Mitchell's going to hold on to P3, even though Andrzejewski's going to be right up there with him in the final lap. It's just a bit too far back. Although, no, Mitchell's run wide. Mitchell's made a mistake, look. If you have a look at the timers, yeah, Mitchell's... Oh, they must have had contact. We missed it. Let's have a quick look before the end of the race and see what happened here. So, oh, did Mitchell just do it by himself on the start of the final lap? Lukey boy.
Yeah.
What is that? Thrown away a podium. Thrown away a podium. No, it's not. Right, back to live action then. Mateusz Majka then coming through the final two corners. And in fact, Machida got Mitchell as well. So it's gone from bad to worse for Mitchell. But round the final corner comes Mateusz Majka. A dominant win for the Hyperion driver. A fantastic victory and maximising what he needs to do for the championship challenge. He takes victory here in Hungary. Lewis Mesa then will come through quite a long way back, it has to be said, for P2. A good drive in the end from the Brame GP driver. He did all he could to maximise his result. But Andrzejewski will be extremely pleased with another podium for Hyperion, and that is cementing their position at the top of the team's championship. A great result for the other pole in that team. And Pavel comes through the final corner to take P3. Machida will take P4 ahead of Luke Mitchell, who's barely hanging on in front of Oliver Taras and will be gutted to have thrown away a podium there. Looked like he had it all under control, but unfortunately for him, did not. Oliver Taras then finishing P6 ahead of Russo. What a result from Mateusz.
Yeah, it was a great result. He was able to... as we see Harry Smith and Victor Grano and Zolciuk, going side by side, very close to make the overtake over the line, the Netherlands GP driver. So we see Mirko Lucchini and the rest of the field just closing. I see a fusion, which is Perseus Miriam. And yeah, Mateusz was able to capitalize the 11 seconds he built in the first 12 laps. As we see the results here, Mateusz Majka takes P1 in the Hungarian Grand Prix, the closest Grand Prix to Poland and to Warsaw. Then we see Luis Mesa second, Pavel Andrzejewski third, Ruud Mechede fourth, Luke Mitchell fifth, Oliver Taras sixth, Federico Russo seventh, Scott Mitchelman eighth, Zolciuk ninth, Harry Smith 10th. Victor Grano de Oro 11th, Mirko Lucchini 12th, Janis Bolborn 13th, Osvaldo Angelone 14th, and closing the points section after an incident, Francesco Grimolizzi P15th. Then we have Daniel Scott, James Andrews, Perseus Miriam, Anton Taro as the drivers who finished the race. We have as non-finishers Andrea Cinalia, Giuseppe Canzonieri, Maxim Bulio, Victor Bernat, Patrick Magnusson, Thiago Mello, Jorge Martinez, and Sandeep Singh. What a race. I must say, it was crazy from start to finish.
It was, but where's the rain from?
I'm still... I don't understand. I don't understand.
I have nothing on any radars at all. That was extremely weird.
I mean... Is the cousin of Joel Sux around Magodiar, around the track and so on, just, trying to give an extra chance to the Hungarian driver, maybe for tonight. But it was, luckily enough, it didn't affect too much to the final result of the race. We saw a dominant victory by Mateusz, clinic overtake in turn 2, and managed to secure the victory from there.
Absolutely right. We're just going to see if anyone wants to join us for an interview. I'm going to give it a minute or two, and then we'll speak to hopefully a couple of drivers. Just a quick tidying up of some stuff. So we've got obviously one more round before a summer break, and we're planning on doing another podcast, aren't we, Carlos?
Yeah, really liking to see the podcast and the preparation for it. It's gonna be very, very good predictions until the end of the season. Now Aaron is coming back next round, and he is on demand to win. Do you agree on that?
Sorry, you cut out slightly. What did you say? You cut out from me. It was my internet.
My bad. I was mentioning that Aaron is on the man to win the next round.
Yes, absolutely. He's obviously coming back with Mateusz Schmeichel having maximised almost his time whilst he was away. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see if he can retake the championship lead, if he's got enough. The drivers' battle is certainly an interesting one. The teams, not so much. Hyperion now are miles in front. So it will be very difficult to stop them, and they march up the leagues then, and look like they're going to end up in Super League next season if they carry on the way they are. Right, we've got Pavel Andrzejewski waiting for an interview, so let's have a quick word with Pavel. Hello, mate. Congratulations on a podium. Obviously, happening the way it did on the final lap, you must be very, very happy to have ended up with a podium from where you started.
Yes, hello everyone. It was truly a recovery drive from the qualifying, but I think this is the main topic I'm doing it for the whole season, because every qualifying session for me, except maybe this Spa race 2 weeks ago, was a complete disaster, and I didn't let myself down this time again. So I had plenty of work in the race. It was fun. I liked it a lot, to be honest. It was really cool battling with many people. Maybe it was fun for me because I was overtaking them, but maybe they didn't like it this much as I did. But overall, for the Hyperion, I think it's the best possible result we got tonight.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, first and third, it extends your championship lead in the teams, and of course, Mateusz now takes the lead in the drivers as well. Do you have your eyes on both, or is it purely the teams you're focusing on for now?
I think I can repeat the same thing as I said 2 weeks ago. Like, Mateusz's goal is to fight for the Drivers' Championship, and my goal is to be the wingman for the Drivers' Championship and to maximize my results in the team's standings. So, yeah, whenever it's a possibility, I do my best, but Mateusz takes priority over the strategy, etc., and everything.
It's lovely to watch you guys work together, to be honest with you, and yeah, it's been a fun season so far. Let's see what happens in the final 6 races. Aaron Vathkes is back for the next round, I believe, in Germany, and then of course we got a summer break, so should be a fun end to the season. You looking forward to Germany?
I don't know. Maybe finally I will practice the qualis sim, because it's fun to start from P15, but when I finish 30 seconds behind Mateusz, seeing myself having really good pace compared to him in the middle stints, there is still some taste of bitterness that I could have been easily P2 tonight, but I take what it is. And I think I'm hoping to get the best for the Hungaroring as well.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you for chatting to us. We are going to have a word with someone else. Thank you, Pavel.
Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you. Dziękuję.
Let's bring in Luis Mesa then. So, Carlos, do you want to speak with
sure.
Luis?
Congratulations, Luis. You had a great race tonight. Did the race go as planned, or what kind of adaptations you had guys to do through the race, how it was unfolding?
Hello guys, good night. First of all, my strategy was going to be medium, soft. But yeah, in the first thing I got trapped behind Sux and I can't overtake him. So we pitted very, very early to protect from the guy behind who has the soft compound. And then we had to make a very, very long stint with the medium again just to equal the strategy. And yeah, I wanted to put twice the soft, but I can only put once.
Yeah, well, it was a good adaptation, considering that Zux didn't have the pace compared to the race leaders, and now you've done 2 podiums in a row. You got a podium in Spa, you got a podium at here at Hungaroring. When are you getting the victory?
Hopefully very soon, but I have to keep on improving and finding those 1 or 2 tenths per lap that I'm missing since I upgraded my rig with the hydraulic pedals and the new base. I gain more confidence and I think I'm faster than before. So yeah, I think I'm very close to the leader pace. We will have to see when Aaron comes back if I can be closer to him, but it's going to be difficult. But I will try to keep improving.
Well, congratulations, Luis. Is there any question, Toby, you want to do from your side?
No, all good. Just congratulations, Lewis, and well done on a good drive. In the end, you maximised what you could get out of it.
Thank you so much, guys. I want to encourage Jorge and Sandy because they had a very bad race and they had, I think, more pace than me today. So maybe they deserve a podium tonight. So yeah, hopefully next race will be better for Bren and for Netrex. So thank you, guys, and see you in the next race. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Nice one, mate. Well done. Right, finally, let's speak with Mateusz Majka, our race winner. Mateusz, a fantastic drive in the end, completely dominant. Once you overtook Zsolt on lap 1, it was pretty easy.
Hello, good evening. I wouldn't say it was quite easy, but it was need to done on the first lap, so I needed to commit it quite heavily into turn 2, and it worked out for me very well. I think a lot of guys struggled behind Zsolt tonight on the first stint. Also, I was not expecting the medium runners to pit after 12-13 lap. For me, it was very early call. But yeah, I think it was all about the train, but maybe I am wrong, and they had much more wear than us in Hyperion.
And of course, sorry, I was going to say, go on, Carlos. You
I
say
wanted
first.
to answer to Mateusz. Luis just explained to us that he was forced to pit lap 12 on the mediums because he had to get rid of Zsolt, who had a slow pace, and he was worried about the guys who were on soft in the first stint, so he would get undercut. So that's why he reacted to that, just to add a bit of context to Mateusz. He was commentating that.
I was thinking about it, and yeah, okay, that's clear.
Go ahead, Toby. Sorry.
It's okay. Mateusz, the one thing I was wanting to ask as well, strategy-wise, were you convinced? I mean, everyone ended up pretty much doing a 3-stop. It was only Scott Mitchell-Malm that stayed with a 2-stop in the end. Everyone else converted to a 3. Was that always the guarantee?
Yeah. From the beginning.
And of course, getting that gap on the softs early was important, of course.
I mean, it was not that much important because in the train with the fresh tires, it's quite not that hard to overtake. Of course, I lose some time, maybe 5 seconds in race overall, losing time in the train, but it's not that hard to overtake. And even when you in a train after the pit stop, you can coast a little bit and save the tires for 2 or 3 laps. But yeah, first stint was quite big push. Second one also, but I have to admit that race was so hard to end. I'm literally all in sweat. I'm literally wet because it was very hard to finish. So I think the first 2 stints was very good for me, and from the third one, after a second pit stop, I saw that I'm not building the gap that much. Even I think I stopped building the gap. I was just controlling the pace, and we are cruising to the end.
Well, thank God today was only 22 degrees in Warsaw. If you race on Thursday, it's going to be 32. So if you race on Thursday, get ready for that.
I'm not. So I don't know if I'm maybe I'm due. I don't know. I need to ask Toby. hope not. Hope not.
Fair enough.
That rain was quite interesting.
Yeah. Where did the rain come from?
I was driving into, I think, turn 4 behind someone, the blue flagger, and was like, huh? Where from?
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know either. It wasn't on our weather. But congratulations. Go on. Sorry. Go on, Carlos. Do you have?
Yeah, our bet was that some Hungarian was sabotaging the sensor. Just to create a bit of madness around there. But yeah, as Toby was saying, congratulations, gratulacje, Mateusz. You did amazing tonight. I think perfection defines your race tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right, that is it for the interviews. Final thoughts then, Carlos, before we go.
Final thoughts. It's never late for a late shower, right? I think we all have to go to sleep clean. I think that's the message of the race, right? Go to have a shower, all of you.
Amazing stuff from Carlos. Thank you so much. Right, guys, see you in a couple of weeks for Germany. Don't miss Thursday's Super League race at Hungary. If it's anything like today, it could be fun. So I've been Toby Davis. We've had Carlos Martin alongside me and Fabian Jungbluth on cameras. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. But until then, thank you so much for watching.
Yo, yo, yo.